Opium for the Masses is, I think, a very fun book. I thoroughly enjoy reading this book. It's short and it has this awesome sort of rebellious vibe to it, and the subject matter is incredibly rich. Opium is so relevant scientifically, historically, and culturally. It just gets you thinking in so many different directions, and it's got this sort of anti-authoritarian vibe throughout the whole book, and it's just a ton of fun. That being said, I do have some critiques about this book. For one thing, he's clearly in the camp of pro-opium. Opium is the greatest thing ever in the history of ever. And yeah, it's an incredibly powerful, useful drug, but at the same time, it should be disclosed to anybody reading this book, in case you're trying to look at opium through rose-colored glasses, that opium is very dangerous and people do overdose on it. And it is clearly addictive and clearly can cause dependence issues and clearly has impacts for societies. I mean, we don't have mounds and mounds of books called the Carrot Wars. We do have mounds and mounds of books on opium wars. So despite this book being incredibly fun and incredibly interesting, it's a little bit one-sided in the pro-opium camp. And I think if you do read this book, you should read it incredibly critically and be very, very careful with some of the conclusions and some of the statements that he has in there. Also, there's a lot of recipes in here. He tells you explicitly how to make opium tea and morphine and heroin. And I didn't verify any of these recipes. I certainly didn't do any of them. I wouldn't advise it. It's interesting to read about, but be very, very, very careful if you read this book and you think you can be a pharmacologist and start treating people right away. That would be probably very irresponsible and very dangerous. At the same time, opium, it's clearly useful too. It's one of these drugs that is absolutely in the gray area. It is not as harmless as water, and it's clearly not as poisonous as cyanide. It's somewhere in the middle. And right now, with the opioid crisis happening around us right now, this book brings up the point, without saying it, would legalizing opium poppies and legalizing people's personal use of opium poppies be better than the current opioid situation that we're currently living in? And that's a great question that I don't have an answer to. But at the same time, I think this knowledge about this very, very powerful plant is something that thinking people should think about and responsible people should think about.